Olá Brasil, aqui é o senador Marcos Duval, estou vindo aqui para falar para vocês exatamente o que eu já estava falando desde o final do ano de 2023, que a interferência do governo Biden nas eleições aqui no Brasil e que Bolsonaro perdeu porque ele foi roubado nas eleições. Quando eu disse isso, fui censurado. Então compartilhe esse vídeo, escute o que vai vir agora, o vídeo a seguir, com Marco Rubio, com o delator que era do governo anterior, que eu disse para vocês que muitos do governo anterior, quando perdeu do Biden, vieram até nós para entregar muita coisa para parecer. Então, a fartura de provas. Então, vocês viralizem esse vídeo e deixem todo o país agora entender que, de fato, o governo Biden, através das ONGs, de forma discreta e de forma velada, manipulou as eleições no Brasil. Agora, vocês acreditam? Agora vocês estão acreditando em tudo que eu dizia desde 2023? Espero que sim. Bora pra cima, valeu! Se eu colocar para vocês e afirmar, não há mais dúvida alguma de que as eleições de 2022 foram manipuladas. Alexandre de Moraes, à época presidente do Tribunal Superior Eleitoral, coordenou essas ações em conluio com alguns ministros do STF e com o apoio do governo Biden. Todos sabem que eu sou um dos parlamentares mais perseguidos aqui pelo Alexandre de Moraes, aqui no Congresso Nacional, especificamente aqui no Senado. No Senado, o único. Já foram expostos aqui na tribuna, eu já expus aqui na tribuna, várias evidências de que ele manipulou as eleições de 2022 por meio da censura e da perseguição de influenciadores da direita, até mesmo aqueles que estavam no exercício do mandato eletivo nas redes sociais durante a campanha eleitoral desse ano. E, com a entrada do novo governo americano, já está aqui oficialmente publicado na página do Donald Trump, ele colocando o senador Marco Rubio, que vai ser o secretário-geral do governo Trump, que por coincidência do destino é amigo de trabalho desde 2019, trabalha comigo desde 2019, eu com ele comigo, e ele está com a missão de resolver a questão do Alexandre de Moraes.
The Atlanta Council receives U.S. taxpayer funding from the State Department, USAID, the National Endowment for Democracy, the CIA cutout, the Defense Department, the U.S. Marines, the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and numerous other federal agencies. Every single one of those provide annual funding every year to this group you are about to watch, training journalists from Reuters, from the New York Times, from Der Spiegel, from Le Monde, in a frigging how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb style smoky room so that they can go back to their desks and flag disinformation in Trump tweets and pro-Brexit tweets. That means the same electorate who democratically elected Donald Trump as president in 2016 also paid a NATO think tank to train journalists to muzzle Trump's social media reach ahead of the 2020 election cycle. This is in 2019. This is 5 years ago. The Atlanta Council is known as NATO's think tank. I mean, just so you understand, it's literally NATO's civilian, clandestine, political action consensus building firm. This is what they're known for in Washington. They represent NATO. So again, their largest funder, the United States Department of State, and then Defense Department of Energy, because they're about control of energy geopolitics, USAID, National Endowment for Democracy, the CIA cutout, the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, all in a single year. What are they paying them to do? To influence and advance on the civilian side what the military, intelligence, and diplomacy sphere wants to be done at the geopolitical and military level. The Atlanta Council has 7 CIA directors on its board. A lot of people don't know that 7 former number 1 chiefs of the Central Intelligence Agency are still alive, let alone all concentrated together on the board of a single institution promoting worldwide social media censorship of politicians like Donald Trump and Jair Bolsonaro and Modi in India and Marine Le Pen in France. Okay.
You're now the head of USAID. The head of Doge, Elon Musk, called USAID a criminal organization and added that it is time for it to die. Do you agree with that?
They have basically evolved into an agency that believes that they're not even a U.S. government agency, that they are a global charity, that they take the taxpayer money and they spend it as a global charity, irrespective of whether it is in the national interest or not in the national interest. One of the most common complaints you will get if you go to embassies around the world from State Department officials and ambassadors and the like is USAID is not only not cooperative, they undermine the work that we're doing in that country. They are supporting programs that upset the host government for whom we're trying to work with on a broader scale and so forth. So they're completely unresponsive. They just don't consider that they work for the U.S. They just think they're a global entity and that their master is the globe and not the United States. And that's not what the statute says, and that's not sustainable.
Can it be reformed or does it need to die?
Well, that was always the goal, was to reform it. But now we have rank insubordination. Now we have basically an active effort where their basic attitude is we don't work for anyone. We work for ourselves. No agency of government can tell us what to do. So the president made me the acting administrator. I've delegated that power to someone who's there full time, and we're going to go through the same process at USAID as we're going through now at the State Department. I think there are some, this is not about getting rid of foreign aid. There are things that we do through USAID that we should continue to do that makes sense. And we'll have to decide, is that better through the State Department or is that better through something, a reformed USAID? That's the process we're working through. There are things that are happening at USAID that we should not be involved in funding, or that we have a lot of questions about. But they're completely uncooperative. So we had no choice but to take dramatic steps to bring this thing under control.
Pouco dos bastidores. Foram 2 anos de muita luta pela verdade. Prestem atenção na data. 7 de dezembro de 2023. 7 de dezembro de 2023. Missão: Washington, D.C. Data foi mantida em sigilo. Senador Marcos Duval recebe uma mensagem do ex-presidente Jair Bolsonaro dizendo: "Você pode ser a pessoa que salvará o Brasil desta catástrofe."